everyone. Welcome to the broadcast. We are halfway to Halloween, and my friend Ronnie Ann Ryan and I decided that we're going to do a special episode, and we've got some fun things to talk about and some fun goodies for you guys. So we're going to get right into it. Hey, Ronnie, how are you feeling?
I am doing really well. It's a sunny day, and that always makes me happy.
We both realized that we have these magical crowns.
Yeah.
And we said, let's do a video and both wear them. I bought this probably 2 years ago and have never worn it, so it's about damn time.
It is time. I got mine right before Christmas, and I was so excited. There was a vendor. I was at a show, and there was a vendor who was wearing that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do you have more? And how much is that? And she told me, I'm like, take that off your head, babe. I got to have it right now.
Yeah, well, Ronnie and I are going to do a little bit. I'm going to pull a card for you guys, for us. And my shaman Riz Mirza, who maybe you've heard me talk about before, he actually put out his own oracle deck, you guys. So amazing. Riz,
It's amazing.
Book, yeah. He's one of our best trance channels I think we have on the planet. He's phenomenal. And I've been studying with him for, since I think 2018. So a long time. I've been on retreats, and I could not wait for his oracle card to come out. So I'm going to pull us a card from it. And oh my gosh, this Madame, look at that.
Oh, I love that card. Look at that.
Isn't that amazing?
She looks magical and fierce at the same time.
Actually, you guys, usually I'll just riff, but since he channeled this information, I'm going to read what it is. Okay, so here's the channeled message from Madame. I am Helena, though many know me as Madame Blavatsky. Ooh, yet names are mere whispers in the wind, fleeting, unnecessary, like the mountain that stands against time, or the ancient forest that bends beneath the eternal wind. I have no need for a title. I do not seek to know who I am, for I already know what I am. Names, my dear students, are but tools for the limited mind, a way to separate, to categorize. Useful, perhaps, in this fleeting world. But do you believe this world was ever meant to last forever? Close your eyes and imagine this earth, this stage you walk upon, vanishing. Imagine all life, every human, every creature, dissolves into the ether, and the planet itself crumbling into nothingness. Do you think that would be the end? The wise dolphins swimming in the ancient waters of consciousness would not cease. They never have. They never will. Just as you have always existed, whether you see it or not, life is not bound by form. Music will still echo, for it is not of your hearing. It is the pulse of the cosmos itself, the hum of the divine, Om, eternal Om. Yes, care for your body, your world, but do not let your vision be bound by the horizon. I have not come to weave you into a spell. You have done that to yourself countless times, trapped in the illusions of your pain, shackled by your opinions, drifting half asleep through your existence. Wake up! Unchain yourself, for these burdens, these boundaries, they are of your own making. And that, my beloved, is the only true death, when the boundless, eternal soul imprisons itself within the narrow confines of fear. I have come to tear down these illusions. Meditation, yes, it is your true companion, the only one that will not deceive you. Learn from the wisdom of the ages, but discard what is born of fear. Embrace that which is joyful, open, and boundless. Only then, my dear, will the veil lift and you will begin to see clearly. Madame Blavatsky.
Nice.
Yeah, that was powerful. You guys, I'll put the link to Riz's oracle deck in the show notes. I don't get anything for it or anything like that. I just think it's phenomenal. So I'll leave the link if anybody wants to get it. But I'll be doing a lot of readings with those, and I will. Oh, and Ronnie and I have a a special 2-for-1 reading. We like to do this sometimes. And so for $75, you can get a reading from both of us. And I'll put the link to that also in the comments, because I'm going to be including this deck in the reading that I do. Ronnie, do you want to pull a card for us?
Yes, I certainly can. Oh, beautiful. Okay. This is the Soul Flower deck.
Gorgeous.
And these are purple poppies, and it's all about evolution. Purple poppy helps align your physical self with your soul purpose and your higher self. For when your foundations are rocking and your entire being is evolving, purple poppy helps support deep levels of integration, connection, and rest. Whenever you land, she will help you adapt. No, it's wherever. Wherever you land, she will help you adapt and find the beauty in the process. You know, that kind of sums up what we're going through right now. There's so much wackiness, right? Going on the planet. So as you're evolving and moving forward or whatever, it's nice to know that purple poppy will help you adapt. I need help adapting. I don't know about you. So that's awesome.
So many people I talk to, we're in this change in this, and Ronnie and I, we talk about business all the time and give each other ideas and bounce things off, which is really important. And I suggest that you get in a woman's group or a mastermind, or have a friend that you can do that with, because enjoying the process, just like the purple poppy says, like seeing the beauty in the process instead of getting frustrated about it, allowing things to flow. Riz always says surrender is the most important thing.
I know, but I wish they'd put it in a bottle so I could just take a sip.
Take a sip of surrender. So I've got a Ouija mug, which I got about a decade ago at the Seattle, at the Pike Place Market. There's this kind of magical shop down below. And I used to always drink out of this with doing my videos with Karen Dahlman, the Ouijaologist, and we had the Women of Ouija. I've got the series here on the YouTube channel, but I made this kind of brew. I put Shilajit. You guys, Shilajit, it's a resin from the Himalayas. It's this black like tar, but it'll help decalcify the pineal gland, kind of do some detox for the body. And I put fresh ginger, lemon, a little cayenne, and some manuka honey and hot water. So if you're trying to activate and do a little cleansing, I'll also put a link to the Shilajit that I use in the show notes. So I'll have some nice links for you there in case you want to check any of this out. But is there anything special you do for your intuitive powers, Ronnie?
You know, one of my goals is to write with my guides. And for a while, I was managing to do it every day, but now I've kind of slacked off a little, but I still do it. And I find that really helpful. And some days they got about 3 sentences in them. And some days it could be 3 pages. So I just never know what's going to happen. I always ask the same question. What do I need to know today? Because I don't always know what I even need to know, right? We think we do, but then I might have specific questions, which I will ask afterwards in case there's something on my mind. So, but you know what I did today, Marla? I was in this group called The Power of Gesture, and you talk about where your emotions are, and then you create a gesture with your hands with it, sometimes with your body or whatever. And then you talk about how you want to shift it. So I was saying today's podcast day, because I'm putting together podcasts. So I'm like this, I'm all crazy and wound up or whatever. And then she says, well, how do you want to be? And I'm like, I'll show you. I said, I don't know if you saw the movie Clueless, but they were doing this with the, is it maybe hanging with your homies or something? It's so old. I just love this. I'm like, let's just ride the waves. It's a little hula dance kind of thing, right? Yeah. And so, and we were talking about, transforming the energy. And one woman was saying how she was dancing in the kitchen in the morning. And I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah. And didn't you take that with Michael Sandler, the automatic writing? You were doing that?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I was already doing automatic writing before that, but he has a process that's kind of interesting. And one of the processes is to help you elevate to cosmic consciousness, which I love it as a concept, and it's really fun to do. And you're basically just calling in all the helpers you can think of, you know, from the archangels and your own angels and your whole and healed ancestors, your spirit guides. But you just call in everybody, your higher self, your high council, and you know, just to give you that extra boost.
Well, I love that, calling in people. And you guys, I just thought of this. Mother's Day is coming up. And my mother passed to the spirit world about a year and a half ago, September 2023. And so I live half the time in her house in Seattle and half the time in Los Angeles, in my house there with my husband. And here she has a full bar, and behind the bar, I have her ashes in a basket. And ever since she passed, I've bought, fresh flowers. I buy the Trader Joe flowers, the roses, and I'll
Me too.
colors. Yes, I've got orange for myself right now. And I get her balloons. And so today after this broadcast, I'm going to go to the dollar store and get some Mother's Day balloons and put the balloons back there. And then I put her fresh flowers, and I always have a battery operated candle going at all times by her ashes. And then, so that's just the little, and she sees it. So they do see it. And as a medium, I can tell you that they notice things, and they'll come sometimes when I'm giving a mediumship reading, they will come and they'll mention something in the house or in that you're doing, and they see it. And right after my mom passed, well, I think I waited a couple of months, and then I had a reading with a wonderful medium called Andrew Anderson, and he didn't know anything about where I live, my mom, nothing. The first thing he said was, when he connected to her, was, well, I'm seeing purple flowers and I'm seeing balloons. And
Oh,
I had just replenished the night before her flowers and balloons, and
that's amazing.
told my husband, I'm putting because I didn't know if he thought, well, why are you spending money on balloons for her? And and I said, she sees them. I know she sees them. And then he confirmed that the next day. So,
That is amazing.
yeah. And do you have any magical over on the other side of the veil stories for us today, or a story or an anecdote?
Well, you know, talking about moms, my mother passed maybe 7 years ago now, but when we were at her funeral, I was the last person to speak. Several people in my family, you know, did a little piece of the eulogy, which was really surprisingly nice. But anyway, I was the last person to speak, and when I was done, what was behind me was a stage, and the curtains were open, and it was just like a room where everybody was seated. So I turned around and I saw her sitting there on the stage, and I was like, wow. And she was sitting right at the edge, and so her knees were at the edge, so her legs were hanging over, and she was kicking her feet like she was young, you know? And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? You're sitting on the stage? She goes, it's my funeral.
And Ronnie,
Like, okay.
did you see her with your physical eyes, or was this in
No,
your mind's eye?
I mean, my eyes were open, but she wasn't a physical apparition, but I could see her in my mind's eye as
Isn't
I
it?
looked at the stage.
Yeah, when people say that, like they saw someone, then I'm always so curious, like because some people do, it's rare,
Yes,
but they see them physically.
yes.
And so I'm
But I
always,
also think
yeah.
I think it depends on the spirit too. It's not just our capability, but what the spirit's doing, because probably a lot of spirits can't become that kind of visible apparition, or they choose not to, or whatever. So I think it just depends on so many factors. But I did see her in my mind's eye, and that was
That's
that
why
was
it's
really cool.
important to decalcify the pineal gland. This is all from the pineal gland,
Ah,
right? That's the mind's eye, the third eye, the pineal gland. So lemon, the ginger, the shilajit, there's a lot of things. Even gosh, there's so many. Neem, something called neem. There's skate, fish oil, skate. It's called skate.
wow.
Yeah, there's a lot you can Google, and there's a whole list of things that can help with that. Um, so I've tried a lot of it, and when we dream at night, our eyes are closed, but we see perfectly clear, and that's coming through the third eye, going into that other dimension through the pineal gland, which is so exciting. But that is so cool that you saw that and that you talked to her and she was there, and it just shows
Yeah,
that we go
yeah.
on. Love
I know,
that.
amazing. So one thing we had talked about was maybe bringing up taking a new attitude about summer.
Yes.
And I wanted to tell a quick story about some clients of mine back when I was a dating coach who decided to have the summer of yes.
Mm.
And I wrote this big long blog post. I love the whole thing. They had the best time. And I was thinking what a powerful statement that is. If you decide, this is how they did it. They said, any invitation they got, they didn't hem and haw. They just let that all go. So the surrender was, just go. Just say yes. Just go. Enjoy. See what happens. See what you encounter, what you learn, who you meet, whatever it is. So they had the summer of yes. And they also carried around silly sunglasses. So when they were at some outdoor event or whatever, sometimes they'd take out these sunglasses and share them with people, like crazy martini glasses and margarita glasses, or, just crazy ones that made it fun. And what happens, it's kind of like Halloween when you put on a costume or you do something different like that. It breaks down your defenses so that you're more open to talk to people and meet people and stuff. So the idea is, what can you say yes to during this upcoming summer, as we finish up spring and then we'll go into summer? What can you say yes to, and how will that expand your awareness and broaden your horizons and bring you more possibilities?
That would be so fun. Like from June 21st to September 21st, get a Summer of Yes journal and then
Ooh.
yes to everything, and then write it down and write down synchronicities and things that start happening. I think we should do it,
Yeah.
Ron. We should do it.
Okay. All right, good. That sounds like fun.
I'm up for it. And there was a movie, and I had told you, and I can't think of the name, but Jim Carrey. He said
Yes.
yes.
Was it the Yes Man?
So, you guys, the film that Jim Carrey was in 2008 was called Yes Man. And that's where when Ronnie started talking about the Summer of Yes, I immediately remembered that, because I remember seeing that movie when it came out, and it had a huge impact on me. And I'm going to go rewatch it. But it was in 2008, and his character was called Carl Allen. And Carl Allen is stuck in a rut. I'm reading the description here. Stuck in a rut in his negative ways. Then he goes to a self-help seminar and learns to unleash the power of yes. Living in the affirmative leads him to all sorts of amazing and transforming experiences. He gets a job promotion and even finds a new romance. But Carl finds that too much of anything, even positive thinking, is not necessarily a good thing. I think he gets a little bit, too crazy there with it.
Gets into a little trouble, but it's all very entertaining.
Oh, good. I'm gonna watch. Let's watch that, you guys. If you've seen it, leave a comment and let us know if you're going to do the Summer of Yes, and we can check in with everybody. But I'm definitely up for it.
Yeah, sometimes you got to shake things up a little and get out of the usual way you do things and find some new ways, even if it's driving to work. Maybe there's another way to drive to work, or a different coffee shop where you get your coffee, or a different place to buy your gas. Whatever it is that you do on a regular basis, mix it up, because just doing that helps your brain see different things, have different experiences. So it's really good for you to shake things up.
It is. Even, when you work from home, like I would tend to wear sometimes I wear the same outfit for like 4 or 5 days. I just, I just put on the same, and I'm like, no, I've got a closet full of great clothes. And so I'd say, no, I'm wearing a cute top today, and and then I'll do a video or something, because I'm like, this is ridiculous. Keep wearing things.
It's funny that you say that, because I had a friend in my younger days, I used to wear a lot of sparkly things. I loved everything sparkly. And so anyway, recently she gave me a birthday card that says it's time to bring the bling back.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I love that idea. And so for that birthday, she had given me this ridiculously huge bracelet that was all these sparkly stones that made up a peacock that sat in the middle of it. Was a ridiculous bracelet, over the top. But it was very blingy and fun and colorful. And I'm like, that is what I need. Something crazy and blingy and fun, and bring me back to my fun youth when I wore, gloves with no fingers and all, put blue in my hair and all this other stuff.
All right, you guys. Well, happy halfway to Halloween. Let us know how you're feeling about it. Are you excited? I remember my shaman Riz, he texted me like the day after New Year's Day, and I think he says 365 days more to Halloween. That's how much he loves Halloween.
That's really funny.
Okay, you guys. So check the show notes because we've got the reading, 2 for 1, and then I put Riz's card deck there. I've got the Shilajit, and have fun.
Yes, say yes and have fun. Absolutely.
Much love, everybody. Until next time.